Yeah, now somebody feels bad, man.
No, we don't.
No, you don't? You don't feel bad? Okay.
And I knew about it too. But
Okay, there you go.
I knew about it too.
That makes it worse.
Yeah, no. We're friends a long time. He'll be all right.
Okay, good.
You okay? See?
He looks okay.
Yeah, he looks okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking to that coach here. If you don't mind.
How about asking?
Yeah, wait your turn. Yeah, wait your turn there, sir.
Sorry. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Looks like you're bringing in Mr. Clowney in for a visit. Your thought process about why you bring him in?
Well, I could go back to Seattle days. I was with him there. Guy's, really good football player. He's missed playing the game a little bit, and the film obviously looks good. And we're always in the business of seeing what's out there and keeping an eye on all good football players. But I would say the personal relationship I have with him, the problems I know he can create both in the run and the pass, is the main reason he's here.
How much did that Eagles game prompt this? Did that tell you anything, or was this something that you were thinking about doing before that?
No, this is something that, again, we've just been monitoring. We'll do it with every position. Again, I feel great about our defensive line depth. But, anytime you have a chance to potentially add good football players, why wouldn't you kick the tires?
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys, just piggybacking on that, what can a veteran like that bring to that young? Clearly you like a young group of pass rushers, but what can he bring? Certainly he's strong against the run and shows as an experienced pass rusher. Yeah,
again, I think there's value in being a vet. There's value in the experience that they have and some of the technique stuff that they've learned over the years. And it's funny talking to Jadeveon. I was asking, I was like, okay, what's your go-to move? Because and so he was sharing some of his secrets. And just to hear these guys that are vets talk about in detail, like the different moves and the swim and the long arm and stuff like that, it's fascinating. And here's a guy when he first came into the league that he just went out and played. And now as you get a little older, and it's like me getting out of bed in the morning a little bit, you have to think a little bit more about what you want to do and how you want to do it. But in terms of young players, if we do it, this would not stop progress. You need to play all these guys, and you can add veterans and not stop progress of young guys. It's all about the rep count.
Subscribe to the theory, keep us strong. Yeah, you believe in those guys. What's wrong with adding to that spot?
Yeah, I do. I think anytime you can add your roster in any position, it's a good thing, because this is a very physical game. We all know that, and your roster can look very different from one week, from one practice, from 3 games to the next. And so you got to be mindful of that. And but the biggest thing for me is always going to be the fit, so the fit with us and the fit with Flus and the defense and White Cotton and those guys. But, we're just doing our homework.
Well, Brian Todd, with ESPN. Does this game this week take on added importance because it's your second division game? It's not just your first home game. Like, you don't want to get too much in a hole at all in the division?
No, we don't think that way, Todd. I think, it's important because it's the next game. It's another championship opportunity. Again, like I said, we feel like, we played well enough in spots to beat Philadelphia, but we didn't. So you don't look back, you look forward. But, we don't look at, okay, this is a must-win, it's got to be that. We just go play the game. And I really do believe that if you start thinking the other way, I think it kind of distracts you from the main thing, which is if you go and play well, you have the best chance of winning.
You've been around when this team won pretty much every game at AT&T, and then last year it was a struggle at home. How important is it to get a home field advantage?
I'm a big believer in home field advantage. I think the fans make a huge difference here. So hopefully, we're playing well and they're into it. I think they will be. I think they're excited about what they see from this group of young men, and I expect it to be packed.
John Machado with The Athletic. Any update on Malik Hooker? He was in on a practice on Monday.
Yeah, again, we'll see how he looks today. Again, getting some stuff done on his foot, but should be okay, but we'll see how he does today.
And then you had a long day to wait before the season opener. How different will this game be, and what do you think that your pre-game ritual or process will be like in terms of getting to the stadium and things like that?
Yeah, I'm not an early at the stadium guy. I'm not a guy who wants to get there 5 hours before the game. I don't really like sitting around. I would say most of the time, when you play noon games, which we don't play very many of them, most of your prep work is done the night before. Like when you lay your head down Saturday night, you should feel really good. Hey, this is the openers. This is what we're doing. Hey, I feel really good about that. Whereas against Philadelphia or the primetime games, even the 325 games, you just have a little bit more time to kind of get some rest, get up in the morning, kind of look over the call sheet one more time. But, I enjoy noon games. We'll play them anytime, anywhere, but it is a little bit different how you approach them.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. Going back to Clowney, your time with him in Seattle, is there anything that jumps to mind from that year y'all had together?
Just how disruptive he can be. He's really good against both the run and the pass, and violent. Player, plays the game the right way. Love his length, but it was really good just to catch up. And he's a dad now. He got a couple kids, and he's actually been coaching his son's football team. So I think that's cool to see these guys as they grow up. They start having families.
And I know in normal years it takes about 4 or 5 weeks to kind of throw an entire offensive system out on film. Is that different with it being a first-year system under you play calling? And how much do you feel like you still have in the bag coming out of week 1?
Quite a bit. I mean, we want to be multiple, Nick. You know that, and we do a good job of self-scouting ourselves. I would agree with that. I don't know whether the number's 4 games, 5 games, whatever it is, but we've got a philosophy of what we want to do. That doesn't change. We certainly have plays each week that we look at, we see that we like, that match up against a very, very good defense this week with the Giants. Big fan of Shane Bowen and his style coming from, Romeo Crennel and Mike Vrabel and those guys. I think he does a really good job. It's a well-coached football team we're getting ready to play, but you're always looking to tweak things, and hopefully week 10, week 15, and beyond, we're still keeping people off balance.
Nicole?
Nicole, just in Dallas Cowboys TV, what's the next step for your run game from what you saw in week 1, and what are you looking to build up upon?
I wish we would have got a few more explosives. We had one, Miles, that got out. I think we were close on a couple. I think that's how you run the ball really, really well in this league, is through explosive runs. I think that was one of the things that I loved about looking at the Arizona film when we were going through the process of a Clayton Adams run game. But again, the way we game plan is we're very, everybody's involved. And everybody has a voice, and I think it's cool when you see the different builds that guys like Derek Foster come up with and things like that. L-Dub does a great job in the run game as well, but I would say pop a few more explosives just because it helps you score points and it flips the field, and explosive plays matter in this league.
Having some success against Philly, what kind of tone does that set for the rest of the season for this backfield? Yeah,
again, I think we expect to be able to run the ball well against every opponent. This group is very, very good. The linebackers are downhill. I'm a huge Dexter Lawrence fan. He's fun to go against, but it's also fun to be done with it when you're done playing him, because he's so big and powerful inside. But like I said, it's an exciting matchup for us. They're a very, very talented group, and it'll be a fun matchup.
Joe.
Joe White, Dallas Morning News. You mentioned on Monday that you got all your most called plays, called. What's the process for determining your must-call plays, and I guess how much impact you get or feedback you get from other people in terms of determining that? Yeah,
that's a great question. I would say the biggest thing is you kind of watch the week of practice. You kind of have an idea when you put them in. Joe, when you look at it, you're like, okay, hey, I really kind of like this one. It draws up well. Then you watch it get executed in practice. That helps. I will say sometimes when it doesn't look good in practice, you have to force yourself to call it, because you're like, look, that was just a bad rep. It still looks good. It still draws up good against their coverages and things like that. But absolutely, the coaches have a say in the openers, and Dak has a say in the openers, and some of the things that they like. I never want to force a play on a quarterback. And, so if there's something he's like, hey, Shotty, I don't feel that play, then we're not going to call it. But I will say that the biggest thing that you do is, as you go through the week, I'll kind of make little tick marks on my script. It's just like, okay, just keep your eye on that one, because I like that one. I like the way it looked, and I like the way it came from the meeting room and kind of the lab, if you will, to the practice field.
And then first game for you as head coach, but also first game for Clayton Adams as an OC. How did you kind of see him kind of take on that role? How much did you rely on him in certain situations? How did that go? Yeah, again, Clayton's an awesome coach, and again, I thought he did a great job. It's fun for me because, early on I would have to probably, hey, think about this, think about that, do this, do that, because it's new for him. But now I come to him and I'm like, hey man, what do you think? He's like, yeah, I got it. I'm kind of like, okay, cool. So you see him developing, but terrific coach, man, bright future, and just blessed to have him here on the staff.
Garrett
Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, I know you've been here since 2022, but Dak's one
his last 13 starts when he started for the Cowboys against the Giants. Why do you think this has been such a good matchup for him?
I don't know. I mean, I think, Garrett, when you talk about it, each game is different, man. Each season's different. This is 2025. Dak plays good against a lot of people. And I don't think this is something just specific to the Giants. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're judged with wins and losses, and he's won a lot more than he's lost against them. But, this matchup's different. This matchup's new. They have new faces. We have new faces. He's got a new play caller. He's got a new head coach. So there's things that are different. And but he will always go into every game against every opponent confident, and that's his job as the quarterback, and that's our job as coaches to throw the type of practices where you can come out of practice and you feel confident. But to put my finger and say, hey, here's why, I think that's hard.
Babe Laufenberg, 105.3 The Fan, Cowboys Radio. Brian, you're watching Sunday, when you're watching tape as a coach up there, obviously, it's kind of sanitized. You don't get the elements, you don't get the emotion, you don't get the crowd. When you're watching the Giants on Sunday, are you the play caller? You're not the fan drinking a beer and eating nachos? I mean, are you thinking, okay,
I might drink a shoddy. I'm not going to drink a beer, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know better than that to ask that. But I think I know what you're asking. I'm watching the game like a coach. I'm not watching the ball. I'm learning about the personnel. I'm learning things I can take from it. I think my wife she's always like, well, how'd you see that? And I was like, babe, I kind of do this for a living, yeah, I know. But she doesn't. I think she forgets sometimes, Yeah. No, not you. Yeah, honey, babe. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, I know you do. No. Yeah. No, my bride. Yeah. I get it. But no, I'm always looking for things, and I'm denoting, where they play different guys and things like that. Or, you watch this team and you look at, what a special player Malik Neighbors is, and Tracy, the running back. And so you're looking at things like that, more than just kind of the normal fan. They watch the ball.
And do you think like a play caller, third and 4, they've been doing this, what would I do here?
Yeah, situations, I think, even more than that, babe. Playing the game management side of it, it's such a big part of what you do as a play caller, but also as a head coach, obviously. So I would say that more than, okay, hey, it's 3rd and 3, what would I do here? Some of the gotta have it's like 4th down and 3. I would be like, hey, what would I do in this situation, things like that. But, I love the game, and any chance I get to watch football, which I don't get a chance to watch it a whole lot from that lens, is fun.
Michelle.
Coach Michelle Montaigne, WFA. Jerry said yesterday, or I guess he was asked yesterday about Mazi Smith being listed as inactive for the opener against the Eagles, and said to expect that would probably be the case again this weekend against the Giants. Are you able to provide some reasoning behind it?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're going to have 3 great practices this week, and I think we have a projected list of how we think this thing can play out and what we think, but it's projection at best, and you don't know, and we're in pads today and we're running around, and hopefully we come out of it clean and all that stuff. But these guys have the opportunity to earn their spots, and in Mazi's case, Mazi's a good player. It's the flashes are there. It's just the consistency has to be there more often. And again, but just because you were inactive last week doesn't mean you're going to be inactive this week. It just means that you were inactive week 1, and they have a big role in trying to get that changed. And at the end of the day, we do a great job, I believe, of trying to communicate to these guys on game day or the night before, in this case, because of the noon start, of what the plan is. But things change in a hurry.
Pat.
Hey, Coach. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. We talked earlier about your familiarity with Jadeveon Clowney. Kind of going back to you being familiar with players. Russell Wilson, he's coming into Dallas to play against you guys. Can you talk about just the benefit of being able to scheme against a quarterback that you are so familiar with, but on the flip side of that, the challenge knowing that he knows you as well? Yeah,
I think that's the fun part of the chess match that we love so much as coaches and players, and why you look forward to playing against your friends. I'm not the only one in the defensive room that knows Russ. Andre Curtis was with Russ for a long time in Seattle, actually longer than I was. His strengths, his weaknesses, but I also know what an incredibly hard worker Russ is. And so I'm not I'm not fooled for 1 second to think he's not working on certain things that he knows that I know and that Dre knows and stuff like that. But he's going to go out and play, and really it's more on the coaches to come up with a game plan. And I've spoken a lot about my respect for Brian Daboll. He was a quarterback coach for us with the Jets when I was the coordinator, and I think he's an awesome coach. And it should be a fun chess match to watch Sunday at noon.
And also, did you get your shoes yet?
Russ, I've not gotten my shoes. 11 and a half. Tad says I need to go up a half size, so I'm still waiting. If we can get that to the Giants media people, I would appreciate it, and maybe we'll do a off-camera little sit-down, whoever gets that done.
Clarence. Just putting a wrap on Clowney just for a second. You've already visited with him today.
Yes.
Is the plan more of, is this a look-see, or are you looking for a practice squad? What is the plan?
Yeah, just evaluating. He's still got a few more things to do with us, and then we'll circle up, probably after practice and just kind of see where we're at. And, he's a free agent, so he has choices as well, and we'll just kind of have a meeting in the minds and see if it makes sense for us.
Thank you.
Scholar.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. The fumble kind of overshadowed the penalty that George Pickens had. It seemed to be some unnecessary contact on that play, which was one of the issues in Pittsburgh. What was your take on that penalty? What conversation did you have with him, if any, about it?
Yeah, no, we talk about it. We approach all things like that. Yeah, I mean, he came in too high and slung the guy down, and it was a good penalty. And obviously they got the hit in the head to Fergie, which kind of took it away. But yeah, we just talk about, you can't hurt the team. And I love the physicality that George plays with. But all of us, we can't do, really I say it this way, you can't do stupid shit. And I'm not saying that was the only stupid thing that we did, but like things that hurt the team like that, you can't do that, especially in the red zone. And so you point it out, you coach it. And at the end of the day, it's stuff that when it comes to a close game, it can hurt your ability to win.
Any other concerns about his effort or route running?
What was your name again, sir? Go ahead. What was the question? I'm joking. Yeah, what was the question?
Todd, we'll get to you.
Yeah.
While Clarence.
Since we're talking about it, let's pick, any other concerns about his effort or route running from Pickens at all?
Absolutely not. Again, I wish we would have gotten more targets, quite honestly. Thought they did a good job taking away. But listen, I'm the biggest George Pickens fan in the world. And as a teammate, the way he plays the game the way we want everyone to play. On the edge, but don't go over the edge. That one example was him probably. If you could tone that one down a little bit, or at least strike the guy lower, it doesn't get called.
Todd?
What attracted you to Flus?
I think going against him, playing against him, he's always been a pain in the ass, Todd. He's hard to get big plays on. I love the style of defense. Sometimes when you play a defense, you look at it and you're like, okay, I really like this scheme or this coverage structure, or the way they rush the passer, or some of their blitz packages. I love the style that Matt's defenses have always played with, whether it was Chicago, Indianapolis, here under Rod Marinelli. The style, man, the way they run to the ball, the effort that they play with, it's right up my alley, attacking play style. And again, I think that he people think he's a simple coordinator, but he's not. And what I love about him is the adjustments from an experienced guy. Like you look at what we were able to do against Philadelphia in the second half, the adjustments that we made I thought were terrific. And that's a testament not just to Flus, but really the entire defensive staff.
Did you have to have a conversation with him, like, hey, what happened in Chicago? Like when it ended? I mean, you obviously were let go in Seattle too, so you kind of maybe can commiserate a little bit.
No, not really. I mean, of course we've sat around, having beers and stuff, traveling for some of the pro days and stuff. We've talked a little bit about that, but it's kind of the nature of our business. And hey, look, Matt Eberflus is a hell of a football coach. He'll be a head coach again in this league, in my opinion. Again, I'm so thankful to have him and really this entire staff. The entire staff's been great.
When you were searching out an offensive coordinator, did you want to find one that had these specialty knacks in the run game, or did it just kind of fall that Clayton Adams was that guy and what he brought from Arizona?
No, I mean, I wanted a guy that was elite with teaching. I wanted a guy that was an elite human being, so Clayton checks both those. But certainly I was looking for a guy with an offensive line background. I think that's an area that you can never have enough good offensive line coaches, and his ability to not just do the running game, but to, the protection piece. And he's just an elite coach, but more than that, he's an elite man. I know you guys haven't spent as much time with him as, say, I have, but he maybe is the funniest person I've truly ever been around. His humor and his wit is incredible. And I just think he's got extremely, extremely bright future, and I love to watch him grow.
When you were talking to Flus, did you ever think, do you need a break from it? Because, he got let go. And then did you think take a year off, or when you had the discussion with him, you felt like he's ready to go?
Yeah, when I talk to him, this is literally what happens. We're just creatures of habit, man. Like, if something doesn't go your way, whether it's me in Seattle, him in Chicago, whatever it is, man, like you think, maybe I'll take a little time. Now I will say he loves to play golf, but the minute I talked to him on the phone, the first 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, this dude's all in. And that's what you want. You want someone that's hungry, and no one is more motivated to continue to be an elite coach than Matt Eberflus, and I think he's going to do that for us in this defense moving forward.
Real quick, on Diggs, is the plan still the same for him? Because he came in a lot on the nickel. I don't know if the goal is to eventually get him with the base defense. Yeah, again, we're still trying to work on those numbers. Again, we'll see how he does today, but we'll always continue to up it, whether it's a full game. We'll see how that plays out. But again, I thought he did a nice job in the game for us on Thursday night.
Cool. Gotta go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.